All right, so here is my update. So I just finished up week 20 of the Sculpt Shred program. This week was interesting. So I'm so glad that I didn't like up my calories. Because I had talked about there was one week that I had lost like 2 pounds in a week, and I was thinking about like raising my calories. I thought that maybe I was like losing too much weight too quickly, and I wanted to make sure that I was still able to build muscle, but I'm glad that I didn't. I've kept my calories pretty much the same over the last month and a half, and I'm glad that I did, because this week, if I would have raised my calories, I would have thought that so basically I gained weight this week. My average weekly weight last week was 134.9. This week I was up half a pound at 135.5. However, my calories were the same as they have been. So I've got to assume, and I haven't changed anything. The only thing I can think of that I may have done that was different was, I can't remember, but I think like the last couple of weeks I was walking a little bit more, like not really adding in like a lot of cardio, but I would go and like walk an extra mile with my roommate. We go up to this lake, and so maybe that could have affected it, but I wasn't doing it like every day. So in any case, I think my calories are at a good place, and maybe this may have just been the time in my cycle that my body holds more weight. So I think I'm gonna stick to these calories and just see what happens over the next month. And I mentioned at the end of last week that we've moved into phase 3 of the program. So the first 3 phases are 10 weeks each. So now I'm on to phase 3. And really there's not too much. Basically phase 3, the information that comes in there is more or less just like to keep you motivated. Because that was the main thing she talked about, is like when you are working out, you know, for 2 or 3 months, and well, at this point it's, you know, going on almost 6 months, you can start to lose motivation. You may feel like you're not seeing as many results. So a lot of it was just to like keep motivated. And then she also explains in a couple of places a little bit more about like how the program's set up and like why she set things up the way they are, which are things that I've already like noticed myself, but it's good to hear her like say, you know, what she's doing and why. It talked about at this point maybe making changes to your macros or calories, and I'm gonna hold off on doing that right now, because I didn't stick to like, because at the very beginning of this, really you're supposed to do this all at once. You're supposed to like start working out consistently and figure out what your total daily energy expenditure is, and then base your meal plans off of that. And I didn't really do that for like the first month and a half, 2 months. I was really just focusing on the workouts and not as much on the diet. And so I don't think I'm ready to really play around with the macros. I think I'm gonna stick to these calories for like another month or so, and then kind of see where I'm at, because I think I'm sitting at a good place. And basically it's like, if you need to change your calories and macros, do that. But I think I'm at a good place for that right now, and I'm gonna keep doing it and just see how it goes. Yeah, and then there's a section called keep your eye on the prize. You know, don't get like disheartened if you're not seeing like as much of a change as you want. She also talks about, for like specifically for like, I guess this could be for anyone, but specifically for women, like how to ask for a spot in the gym, you know, how to properly ask and make sure you're not like interfering with someone else's workout, and how to tell them like, you know, okay, I'm aiming for this many reps, and, you know, just general information about using the gym, asking for a spot. And then this was the part that I thought was interesting that I had noticed. Motley. Okay, calm down. So it's talking about like the exercises that she has. And I had noticed that basically every new phase, the exercises are pretty much the same, and there's only maybe like minor changes. You know, she might switch one thing out for a different thing, but it's not like, basically it's the same. And she says like the reason she does that is because, you know, you don't want to change up the exercises every couple weeks, because if you're, especially if you're new to the gym and you're not used to the exercises, that's a whole new thing that your body has to get used to. And the focus here is more about like trying to increase your intensity in the exercises that you're doing. And so if you're constantly like changing up the routine, changing up the exercises, you're not really getting that intensity, because you're training your like body and your central nervous system to do the new movement, and you're not really getting all that intensity. And so that makes sense, and I like it. Like, I like the way the program, maybe some people get bored with it, but, and I've changed it up myself just a little bit. And that's one thing she says, you know, like if you're doing shoulders and you want to try like another workout or another exercise in there, you know, throw it in or whatever, but just try to maintain the intensity. And so yeah, that was basically it. Like, it wasn't like a huge shift. And I went ahead and looked ahead, and it doesn't, Mama T, hey, it doesn't look like we're really gonna see a major shift until we get into phase 6, really, which is when we do the shred. So what was in phase 5? Yeah, phase 5 is another kind of like motivation and then kind of getting you ready for the shred. So yeah, so phase 6 is going to be the really, where we're going to see the big push for the next, you know, few months. It's just going to be, you know, increasing the intensity, sticking with staying consistent and all that stuff. But anyway, yeah, I thought it was interesting that I gained half a pound this week when I've been losing like really consistently on the prior weeks. I'm still pretty okay with my food. I was extra hungry a couple days this week, but I didn't give in. You know, I held off, and I knew that today was kind of like what I designate as my cheat day. Some days I do, some weeks I do, some weeks I don't, but I've been craving pasta this week pretty bad, so I am gonna eat some pasta today, and I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, we'll see how next week goes. We'll see if I keep gaining weight, or if, you know, by doing the same thing, or if I go back to losing. I'm predicting that I will start to see losing again. And if it goes the way it did last month, then I should lose a little bit this week, a little bit next week, and then maybe a substantial amount the week after that, and then maybe gain a little bit. So we'll just see. We'll see how it, you know, if my hormones play into this or if it was something else. But I don't know. I'm still happy with it, and we'll just see how it goes. I do need to increase my intensity. This week I was, the workouts were okay, but it was more like just getting through the workouts as opposed to like really pushing myself as hard as I can. I've really been wanting to get to that point to where I'm pushing to failure every time, and I'm not getting as sore as I have been. I did get sore in my legs, the workout I did Friday, so my legs are a little bit sore today. But yeah, this last week I wasn't really having as much soreness as I have been, and I know I need to push a little bit harder, so hopefully like my energy levels will come back up. I feel like my energy levels are coming back a little bit today in particular, but I've been just not had as much energy the last few days. So yeah, so I'm predicting that my weight will start going down again next week on my next check-in, and hopefully my energy levels will be up and I can push a little bit harder at the gym this week. So we'll see how that goes, but I will run through my apps real quick and then do my measurements. All right, so here's my Fitbit app, and you can see, I'll go back a couple of weeks. Well, if you just go back several weeks, this week, this March 26th through April 1st was pretty high because that was when I had like a little vacation, and wasn't really. I was definitely eating over my calories, and then I really got on it that week after, and then ever since then, like, my weight has been dropping about a pound a week for these couple of weeks. And then I think, yeah, this week from the 30th through May 6th, the average dropped by about 2 pounds, and I was like, oh, that's kind of a lot. And then it was less the week after that, 134.9, so that was last week, and then, or week before last, and then this last week, the average went up by about half a pound to 135.5, so it's just interesting. So we'll see how it plays out. I'm going to keep everything the same and then see what happens, and then after a few weeks, I may think about adjusting my calories or macros. But what else? We'll go to my Fitness Pal. Go to last week. So yeah, the average calories were under 1,700. So I'm wanting to stay between 1,600 and 1,700. And then for the macros, I want to have it at 35 carbs, 25 fat, and 40 protein. And my carbs were a little bit high this week, but it's mostly because of Sunday. Because like I said, Sunday is the one where I do a little bit of a cheat day. And in the other program that I did, the Ultimate Shred, she had Sunday as kind of the high carb cheat day to kind of get you ready for the week. And so basically on a day-to-day basis, it was, I was right on. So let's see if I can find one of the days. So yeah, so daily I was hitting them perfectly, but then on Sunday is what kind of throws off the average. So what I have planned for today is 53% carbs, 23% protein, because I want to get that pasta in and some extra fruit. And, oh, wait a minute, this was last Sunday. Yeah, I had popcorn and yogurt, and yeah, but this Sunday, it's a little bit better. Still getting over 100 grams of protein, but definitely higher than what I have been eating. So yeah, this is what I've basically been eating every day and hitting it pretty close to the target, getting 166 grams of protein a day. Yeah, that's what I've been eating every day. So, again, I think I showed this before. I'll have 2 protein shakes. I've been eating this Hormel chili, Beyond Steak, Guardian meatballs, broccoli, and then I'll have a apple and oranges, and then I have the olives to kind of bump up my fats there. So that's what I've been doing. So I'll hop over and do my measurement. Let's get this over with. About the same. Yeah. You want to say hello? You want to say hello? All right. So I will say one thing. So through this whole time, I've been talking about how I felt like my legs are getting pretty toned, and I haven't been feeling it as much in my upper body. This week, I've been feeling it a lot more in my upper body. You know, I've been chilling. I can start to see my biceps. My shoulders are starting to look. I can feel it in my back a little bit more, so I think that's a good sign. I don't know. Don't jump in my closet, Matt. Don't do it. But yeah, let's just see. Don't do it. Don't. All right, I'll clean that up later. I don't expect there to be many changes. If anything, maybe going up a little bit. I'm hoping it's just like some water weight holding on this week. Okay, so that's right at 31. And it was down to about 30, so my band has gone up an inch this week. And then across my chest. Is 34 and a half. Last week it was 33 and 3/4. Waist. Oh wow, I can't remember what it was, but it's sitting at around 30 and a half, 30 and 3/4. Last week it was 30. And my hips last week was 37 and 3/4. It's been sitting there the last couple of weeks. So Monty knocked all my stuff down and then left. 38. And my thighs. Are 21. I think they were 21 last time. My thighs got a little bit smaller, but pretty close to the same. It was 21 and a quarter last time. So yeah, we'll see if that was just my hormones holding on some water weight in inches, I guess, but I'm not bothered about it. I feel like my energy is going to be coming back and I should have a pretty good workout this week. Just keep all the calories and macros the same and see what happens.